Good afternoon. This December the 16th, 6 o'clock. My name is Jorge Dominguez. I'm a commissioner. I'm going to be sharing the meeting. Welcome, everybody. Let's go ahead and start. Daniela, where's Daniela?
She walked outside. Huh?
We need to call her in so we can set up.
Yeah. We're ready.
Ask them to put the microphones on, I can't hear.
Okay.
Do they have microphones?
They should have it on. I'll let them know.
Test.
Yes, do you have your microphone? They do have it on.
He just speaks in a low voice.
Yeah, they're open.
Six oh five five.
Mike Baron's supposed to be here. Yeah.
Very good. Okay. So now, let's go ahead and do roll call.
Yes, sir. Erasmo Villarreal. Absent.
He called that
Has to be excused.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Jorge Dominguez.
Present?
Mike Baron. Abraham Lugo.
Present.
Johnny Narvaez. Usain Huang.
Present.
Larry Dovalina.
Here.
Daniela Salpaz.
Here.
Ana G. Villarreal. Mr. Chairman, for the record, we have quorum.
Okay. Is there a motion to excuse?
So
the-
moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have. Now, let's go ahead and raise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, for the record, Mike Baron just showed up.
Okay, thank you, you're welcome. Let the record reflect that he's here. Now, do I hear, I would like to recognize Jose Rodriguez for the public comments before we go into,
Would you, next on the agenda was approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of December 2nd, 2021. Would you like to do that, or?
Yeah, let's do that.
well, actually, the comments should come first, but is there a motion to approve the?
So moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Now I would like to recognize the Jose Rodriguez. You had some comments, Mr. Rodriguez?
My name is Jose Rodriguez. I live on the Green Ranch area. And it's about two of the items that you guys are going to talk about today. And I've got a couple of concerns. One thing is some planning about the zoning and creating some areas on that Vinesor area, but the main issue still remains, that is the traffic. Most of the living areas there, Green Ranch, Deer Creek, La Bota, only got one entry and one exit for the people that live there. And
I will interrupt you. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I would like, if it's okay with the committee, I would like to hear those comments when the item comes. And I'll open the okay?
thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and go into the regular meeting. It's a public hearing recommendation of an ordinance. That's 6A, amended the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by rezoning Lot 1, Block 17, Santa Fe Subdivision, Unit 4, located at 602 Niscola Drive, from R1 MH Single Family Manufactured Housing District to B4 Highway Commercial District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have the applicant, Rocio Gravel Hinojosa, owner. Location, Lot 1, Block 17, Santa Fe Subdivision, Unit 3, located at 602 Niscola Drive. Zone request is R1MH to B4. Proposed use, park owned cab or commercial truck. Letter sent 31, for 0 against 0. Location view. Aerial view.
Mira, dile que se meta aquí.
Street view. Zoning map. And the recommendation is staff does not support. And the proposed motion.
Okay. It's a public hearing, so I will open the forum to those in favor of the B4 change. Anybody? Okay, those against?
I'm the owner of the property.
You're the owner of the property, so you wanna,
Would you like to
you're probably in favor, you wanna talk about it?
The reason is that, like, good evening, members, we have our cap, like, we need to rent a place, which is, I don't see it like the right way, because we all, like, it's our truck, we have rent a place, and they damage it in a rental place. So that's what we work, like, we maintain our family, so we don't have no neighbors on the side. Like, in the area, there's no neighbors on the side, we've been there forever, like, it's not a truck that you're gonna say, oh, it's leaking oil, it's on the sideways, like, in the driveway, anything, it's like towards in the driveway, and it's towards back. So, are we just asking if we can, like, be a commercial or places to have a truck in our house, in our driveway?
Okay. Let me go ahead and continue with the public meeting, and I'll go ahead and ask, Rafael, Orly. I noticed that, you're against you're not supporting this, can you make a comment related to that?
So, Mr. Chairman, the intensity, in order to do what she would like to do, she needs to change the zone. The zone that she would need is a B4, which I believe they explained to you. B4, the intensity of a B4 is a zone that is usually on a highway system, serving a regional area type of zone. If the zone change happens, that zone stays with that property until the owner decides to change it again, right? Because it's her right to come in here and to do this. But it also creates the problem that if you have a B4, there's other businesses that can be allowed in that. And once the B4 is granted, she has the legal right to put those higher intensity businesses on that property, which wouldn't fit the neighborhood.
Okay,
So
do you understand,
Yeah, and
the
there's
meaning
a
of the
business in
before?
front of my house.
Now, any of the members of the committee have any questions for her? Liliana?
Yeah, I have a question. I think it was in our last meeting, we had something similar like that come up where somebody wanted, to do the zone change, and it was just so that they could, do the parkings. Did they find a remedy? Was there like something that they were able to fix? Or is there any other, like maybe a type of application that she could do?
So that person was doing, the steps. They were going to, a business, and then they were gonna try to recommend the zone, they were gonna try to come in for the zone.
They were gonna go to a B1 and then
Because I have
increase the
pictures,
use.
I don't know, on the truck, the only thing I couldn't print them up. I put it on my phone.
If you have them, you can put
Chairman.
them on that white panel.
Mr. Chairman, the city has an ordinance that prohibits, tractor trailer parking in neighborhoods. And, may I speak? The city has an ordinance that has, prohibited tractor trailer parking. There's probably 20,000 tractor trailers in this city. The minute you allow this to occur, you're gonna have a slew of similar situated people who believe that they should have a right as well. And you're gonna be inundated with calls because there's other people that wanna have this as well. And it's unfair to the neighborhood. where this person resides, that these other people may have been living there for a time, and all of a sudden they get impacted by a tractor trailer that comes in and parks in the neighborhood.
Thank you, Mr. Lovalina. Actually, it's a public meeting, public hearing, and, you need to add anything to your comments, ma'am?
Yes.
I saw the pictures.
Yeah, in that case, when Mr. Lovalina was saying, yes, I agree with him, but, that's why every owner, so like, needs to support their business or, like in my case, I've been there for 26 years and I never had a problem before, never. It's just, right now, I guess,
One of the, for the record, one of the bases of creating a good living standards for a community is to abide by certain regulations. One of them being Mr. Lovalina's comment about the ordinance that we have for parking. And, just as a comment, the way I see your pictures, you are in violation of an ordinance because you cannot actually park those type of vehicles there. And, I understand your request and I sympathize with you because it gets very expensive
yeah.
to park the vehicles
Sure.
elsewhere. But at the same time, the reason that this committee exists is because we have to comply with certain regulations, and one of them being that the property where you live will never comply with a B4. The B4 is specifically designed for the areas where highway or high business areas are required. So if we bring a B4 into your neighborhood, then we're actually creating all what we're trying to put here, we're bringing it down to the ground. But this is a public hearing. Let me go ahead and ask if anybody else against it, and then we'll see what the committee thinks about that.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Chair, okay.
Oh, you had,
I just had some comments, not for the
You good?
applicant.
Oh,
I just wanted to say a
go
few
ahead.
things. I think, I guess for the applicant, we make a recommendation, right? The final say so is going to be at council, so as far as this body is a recommendation. Staff, I know, I guess the closest they're going for a B3 or B4 word? B4. Would be what, probably Walmart? That's how far it is from this distance?
Yeah.
Yeah, so really what we try to avoid is, I guess, spot zoning. So you don't wanna have one small area of a B4 surrounded by R1As or R3s. So that's pretty tough, and pretty much the principles of planning really does not recommend spot zoning.
Thank you for your comment. Anybody else that wants to speak in favor? Okay, now, anybody that wants to speak against the zone change? If not, I'll go ahead and close the public meeting, and what are the wishes of the committee?
A motion to recommend denial.
There's a motion?
Second.
In the second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. Okay, the next item is amending the zoning ordinance map of the city of Laredo by rezoning the south one half of lots 3 and 4, block 36, Eastern Division, located at 1216 Logan Avenue from B3, Community Commercial District, to B4, Highway Commercial District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, applicant, we have Oscar and Laura Serno, owner. The location, south one half of lots 3 and 4, block 36, Eastern Division, located at 1216 Logan Avenue. Zone request B3 to B4. Proposed use, body shop. Letter sent 17. None for, none against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zoning map. And the recommendation is staff does not support.
Can you go back to the map? What is that B for?
Yeah.
That's okay, if you know where Christ the King Church is,
Yes.
catty corner, I think there was an O'Reilly's in there, now there's a Maquinita,
Used to be a food store or something.
I believe so, and the dialysis center.
Okay,
And this is directly in front of it,
This is, to the west.
where the old, Silva Mine Control Paint Shop or something was?
No,
No?
this is, that before faces, Guadalupe. So the applicant is to the west of that building.
Oh, I see where it is. Okay.
okay. This is a public meeting. Anybody in favor of the item? Please come to the podium and speak about it.
Hi, my name is Laura Serna. I don't know if you want me to speak English or Spanish. I want to thank each and every one of you that you guys are here this late to listen to my case. I'm the owner of 1216 Logan, and we're going to make some improvements. I know I'm a B3. I know what I can and what I cannot do. And I know I have the B4 right across the street. I have maquinitas, and there's a lot of stuff there, okay, that belongs to a B4. And I'm right across the street. And it says there that I want a body shop, and it's a minor repair. It's a minor mechanic repair shop, so maybe we
It's not
got
about it.
lost in
It's not about-
translation, okay? I know I can, do, body and collision, no paint, I know that I would need a before. And I even brought some, I don't know if y'all would like to see it.
Go ahead.
We're gonna make, very, very good improvements. And I have the floor plans here for what we are going to do there. I don't know if you would like to see or who.
Go ahead, if you can put them on the overhead projector right there to your right, that white square, and it'll project onto the.
Right here?
Yes, and it'll project onto the TV.
Okay, it's because there's a few, pages, so, okay, well, okay, so I switched it. Okay,
Yeah, you can switch.
this is, what we are going to do there. We bought this place in 1997, okay, and it was a body shop, it was a paint shop, and it was, I don't know if y'all remember Eurotex, they would sell auto parts, European auto parts. And when we bought that was there, and they stayed there, we didn't mind, you know. We bought it because my husband needed to put some machinery there, and, the previous owner kept working there until I guess they didn't make any more money or whatever, they decided, to move out. It was ours, but they decided to move out. And here's like, something else. And, I really think it's gonna be a great improvement. And I am so close to the B4, so I would really appreciate it if I can get the B4. And it is, the purpose is actually to have more options. And this would be, well, it's not even colored in or anything. These are just rough sketches of what is going to be built there, okay? And that is why we're asking for B4. And also, if you need more square footage, I have more square footage than,
Actually, what we're looking at, I appreciate what you brought before the committee, but we're looking at the zoning right now. And,
yes, the
And-
zoning, somebody told me that I needed like a little bit, like 300 or some more square feet.
Well, actually, on the B4, it has to,
Before, I'm sorry, yes.
Yeah. 40.
10,000 is minimum.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be the minimum.
10,000.
And, now, if she wants to come back, it depending on the type of, structure and the compliance of the parking, I think a special use permit or a conditional use permit would be more appropriate for what she wants to do.
That's what I was going to ask, but I didn't know, well, nobody advised me. Then I heard about the, that condition permit
Now-
or something.
What what I would suggest, unless any of the board members, have questions, I would suggest that if you wanna look at the option of a special use permit or conditional use permit, you might wanna table the item right now, and then decide what,
You would postpone the item
That is
to a
correct.
later date.
that is correct. You can do that, just, table the item, time uncertain,
Postpone.
and postpone it. And then you can come back after you talk to staff, and maybe you can come back with a better solution for your business.
Also, we'd have to lock in what the business is gonna be, so that when we do the conditions, we can apply it accordingly.
Because they're not supporting the zone change right now.
And why? And like I said, I have the before right, I can cross the street and play Maquinitas,
Well,
the before. And I have
The
a warehouse,
the size
right?
of the lot doesn't comply, the front, is not a highway frontage. So there's that's the reason that special use permits and conditional use permits exist, because when the property doesn't completely comply with the minimum requirements of before, then you can you can still do the business and use your property under certain conditions that will be in favor of you.
Yes, and like I said, and there was, I guess like a minor typo thing. And, so you need 10,000 square feet,
Even for a conditional use permit, you'd have to
okay? Because
comply with that.
the property next to it is mine,
Okay.
so,
Knowing that, we
But
could probably sit
it-
down, we didn't, you know, we can
But
sit with her and
it's-
visit.
I don't, can I put it here so y'all can
Of course,
see it?
oh, yes.
So was he agreed to,
Um,
you can't take action over it,
but see, this,
would you
this is
agree
where
to
I'm
postpone?
asking for the,
So the two
Well-
As are also yours.
and, I doesn't wanna sell me this one, not yet. But I have this A right here, so I have all this,
So it
okay?
needs to go back in.
And this is, like 4,000 some, 4,600. And like here, I'm only missing like 300 and some square feet, which I understand, so I know I'm missing it. But I have all this over here, if that would help for me to, and like I said, the reason is for me to have more options. Like I said, I do know what I can do or not do on a B3. But,
Once,
you know, I wanted to,
I would be happy to review the case again.
Do you wanna table the item and, so you can
I don't know
have
what
more
that
options?
but I don't know what table, I don't.
Table is that we're gonna put it on
It means
hold.
that you get another chance at another meeting.
Yes.
Oh.
We will not vote whether we deny or approve the change, but actually it will give you an opportunity to have a conference or a meeting with planning and zoning and look at your better options. Okay, then you can always come back and request it before, and it can be approved or denied at that particular time. But
And
right now,
How much, longer do I have, or when do I have to do this again? Or where do I have to, do I
we
have
can
to
put it for
apply
next,
again?
we can put it for the next meeting if possible. Is that possible? That would
We
be,
can help her with the paperwork.
if you decide to table it, we can go ahead and put it for next meeting.
Oh, yes, that's, well, whatever I have to do.
So you're in
So
agreement,
do I leave all this,
you're in agreement to table?
No,
or I
you can
take
bring
my
it to the
stuff?
office, when you come to the office,
Okay,
we'll
and
coordinate a meeting.
where,
We'll get with you right after this.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
And
So
I move to table.
Like I
okay.
said, I'm sorry, but I'm new at this.
he made,
Not a problem.
Commissioner, Novalina made a motion to table the item, and it's second by Commissioner. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for listening for my proposal. Thank you.
Anytime. Okay, now we're moving to amending the zone ordinance map of the city of Laredo by rezoning lot 9, block 3, International Trade Center, phase 1, located at 14404 Maquila Loop from M1 light manufacturing district to M2 heavy manufacturing district. This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor? favor, a favor? Go ahead.
Miss,
But you want to present?
You gonna present first?
Oh, let's go ahead and present, I'm sorry, my bad, go ahead.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have the applicant, Blossom Tree Properties owner. We have Annabella Ramirez as a representative. Location, Lot 9, Block 3, International Trade Center, Phase 1, located at 14404 Maquila Loop. Zone request M1 to M2. Proposed use, warehouse propane. Letter sent 8, none for, none for against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zoning map. And the recommendation is staff does not support. And the proposed motion.
Okay. I apologize for the previous. So let's go ahead and, anyone that is in favor, come to the podium. Your name for the record.
Good evening, Annabelle Ramirez and Miss Vanessa Montes. I'm representing her in this case. She is wanting to rezone an M1 to an M2. She has an M2 right now, but she's leasing, and the owner wants to expand his company, so he asked for the lot back. So she purchased this other lot, and she wants to rezone it to install her propane business. It's not to fill up big trucks, it's to fill up the little tanks, mom and pop tanks. It's not more than those big humongous 5,000 gallon tanks. No, they're small tanks. And so this is what we were asking the commissions to see.
¿Puedo hablar en español?
Sí, sí puede hablar español. ¿Cómo no?
Mire, mi nombre es Vanessa Montes, yo soy la dueña de Procas. Estoy aquí pidiendo que nos hagan favor de cambiar a M2. Nosotros no somos nuevos en este negocio. Tenemos ya de hecho tenemos una hacienda. Voy a poner esto. ¿Puedo ponerlo?
Yes.
Esta es nuestra licencia, la que las compañías de gas estamos regulados por el Railroad Commission y aquí está la licencia de nosotros. Quiero comentar también que por lo que alcancé a escuchar ahorita cuando entré, hay mucha desinformación. Alguien me dijo, no, es que van a poner tanques y tanques de gas. Y no vamos a poner tanques y tanques de gas. Es un solo tanque, ¿sí? Que es el que está ahí bueno, no, obviamente no todas las empresas son clientes de nosotros. Sin embargo, le vendemos a muchos negocios que usan el gas para los montacargas. ¿Sí me explico? Ahora, estamos en una zona industrial, estamos en ITC, ¿sí? Ahí cubrimos Interamérica, cubrimos ITC, cubrimos Pan American y parte de la bota, ¿sí? A las 5 millas alrededor no hay compañía que venda gas, más que nosotros o que vayan los camiones. Ahora, hay gente que no sabe, enfrente de esta bodega ya existe una estación de gas natural, ¿sí? Aquí está la foto. Yo me paré enfrente de mi oficina, esta es la estación, si ustedes ven, creo que el problema decían que porque hay una escuela. La escuela no abre las puertas por ahí, no salen niños por ahí, primera. Segunda, sí estamos cumpliendo con la cantidad de pies que se requieren por ley, porque son 200 pies del límite hacia acá. Ahora, si vemos estas fotos, aquí estoy parada. No sé si se alcance a ver. Aquí estoy parada en la orilla de lo que es la barda de la escuela, ¿verdad? Esta barda, si ustedes se fijan, del lado derecho está lo que sería eso de gas. Nosotros estaríamos hasta el fondo. Le quiero explicar. Sí, esta es otra foto tomada un poco, tomada del área esta de la compañía de gas que está enfrente de Gas Natural. Y nosotros estaríamos entre, no sé si se alcance a ver, un montacarga rojo y, y una trailer que está a la orilla. Estamos hasta el fondo, no estamos cerca de la escuela. Y es importante comentar que estamos regulados por el Railroad Commission. A nosotros nos dan unas licencias, o sea, para que alguien expenda gas ahí tenemos que ir a cursos, tenemos que estar certificados. Aquí está la licencia mía, es la del medio, yo como manager. La de abajo es de la persona que regularmente está ahí vendiendo. Ajá. Tenemos aquí, por ejemplo, el certificado de la oficina de Hazmat. Nosotros entramos martes y viernes y ponemos ahí cuánto gas hay en los tanques el martes y el viernes, todas las semanas de cada estación. O sea, no siempre la ciudad sabe o está muy cerca de saber cuánto producto tenemos, ¿sí? Déjame ver qué más puse aquí. También estamos regulados bueno, esto ya es independiente de la Oficina de Agricultura para la cuestión de las pesas para vender lo que es el producto real. A lo que quiero llegar, que la otra tienda que tenemos está a 0.7 de la que vamos a poner ahorita. Estamos a menos de 1 milla. Ustedes, de donde está ahorita la tienda, ustedes van a caminar 3 cuadras así y una muy larga así y va a estar la tienda nueva. ¿Por qué nos vamos a mover? Porque yo estaba rentando ese lugar y ya me pidieron el lugar. Ajá. Lo acabo de googlear, lo podemos googlear las direcciones, dice .7. ¿Sí? No estamos, estamos en una zona industrial que de por sí ya el ITC es zona industrial, no es una zona de casas, es una zona industrial. ¿Sí? Ajá, exactamente. Ahora, aquí estoy parada en bueno, esta fue la del gas. Esta foto que voy a poner aquí estoy parada en la que está la de gas natural y ahí se ve la escuela. Nosotros fácilmente estamos a más del doble de lo que ellos van a estar, ¿sí? Y no son tanques y tanques, es un tanque que tiene, lo más que puede tener son 1.600 galones, es todo lo que puede, porque es un tanque de 2.000 galones, pero no se pueden cargar al 100% por ser gas, se cargan al 80% por ley. Entonces, eso es lo máximo que puede tener, ¿sí? Yo lo que quisiera es que a lo mejor vieran esta información y vieran que tratamos de, obviamente lo hacemos con la mayor seguridad, tenemos que cumplir con muchas reglas. A nosotros nos provee el producto, el Amerigas, entonces cumplimos con las reglas del Railroad Commission, pero también con las reglas de Amerigas. Amerigas tiene muchas reglas y tenemos que cumplir también con ellas para que nos pueda surtir el producto. ¿Okay?
Déjeme continuar con el public hearing, ¿verdad? Y ahorita abrimos para los comentarios de la mesa directiva.
Gracias.
Okay, anybody in favor?
No.
Anybody is a favor, favor? Okay, if you're gonna comment something different, it'll be good, but if it's something on the same level, we kind of got the picture, but you're welcome to come to the podium.
It's just to remind that it's not.
You need to come to the podium if
Come
you're
to the
going to
podium
address the board.
and identify yourself for the record. Your name?
My name is Frida Morales. I just wanted to remind that we're not in a housing or it's not in the La Bota area. It's a warehouse and industrial area, so people from La Bota should not be concerned about that, because like as it was mentioned, there is already a M2 in front of us. So and we're as far away with the feet that we're required to. So that's all I just wanted to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else in favor? Okay, now I'm gonna ask comments against that particular item. Go ahead, Mr. Castro. Yes, sir. For your record, the name?
For the record, my name is Guillermo Castro Jr. I don't know if you recall, in 1980, we had a combustion of gas that was, middle of the night, blew up. And where that vapor flew, all the houses, the roof, it burned it, it shinged it. We're talking about methane gas, or whatever gas. You're putting it right next to a school. When that thing blows or something happens, they can't say that it's 100%, because nothing's 100%. We're putting our kids in danger. That's number one. We have a code enforcement that is non-existent. Why? I invite all of you to go to Inter-America, to those warehouses. You're thinking you're in Mexico. Why? Because there is no code enforcement. We just had an issue with this company with this releasing sterilization. Are we going to be blind? I'm not against people making their business where they want to do it, but let's do it in a safe way. That's what the purpose of planning and zoning is. I honestly believe that just being close to the school, there should be no any type of business that has dangerous materials or hazardous materials. The wind blows. You can't control the wind where it goes. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Anybody else against? Go ahead. State your name for the record. Come to the mic.
Good evening.
That's not the mic is over
Good
here.
evening. Can you hear me?
Go.
Get closer to the middle.
And
It's right in the
middle.
middle. Come on, keep going.
in the middle.
For you. Anyway, good evening. My name's Joanne Pyland Otero, and I'm I guess I'd say a lifelong educator. And I want to speak on behalf of the children who do attend Muller Elementary, Faskin Elementary, and other schools. And I respect the position the ladies are bringing forward with wanting to do business in the city. I also serve as District 7 representative for the Citizens Environmental Advisory Council, and John Porter is in charge of that as Director of Environmental Services. About 2 or 3 months ago, an amendment was passed stating that no hazardous materials could be contained within a 500-foot distance of a school. And I don't know the exact distance, but I really agree with Mr. Costello that even if it is beyond 500 feet, do we really want to subject our children of Laredo, whatever school they attend, to any possible hazardous contaminant? And it may be safely stored, but things do happen, and I agree, it's not 100% guarantee. And again, I want to speak on behalf of children. I'm pro, as a counselor, I'm very pro-child. I'm also pro-parent. I'm also pro-person. And I consider this an item of concern and something that I would really ask that you consider. Use your best judgment. Would you want this to be stored near a school where your child, your grandchild might attend that school? It's just something I really want you to consider. And also because City Council is very aware of the need to protect schools, especially Muller. And I know she mentioned Mabota Ranch. Yes, I'm a resident there 22 years. I can speak kind of well about things that are going on there in Mabota Ranch. And we are fighting many issues right now. As we are meeting here tonight, United Independent School District is conducting a parent meeting to address the dangers of ethylene oxide, which I know you're aware of. It's something that's been in the news. So we not only look at these issues such as propane or whatever would be in these storage containers that might be located somewhat near Muller Elementary and other schools. But we also are here to look at the air quality issues that schools have to go and now address. I just ask you to really think hard about this and think about the children of Laredo. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else against?
There's a guy over there.
El que ya-
I'll recognize Mr. Rodriguez after this, person. Your name for the record, ma'am?
Yes, sir. I'm walking a little slow because I had an accident. Okay. Okay, my name is Ethel Bettis, and I'm an educator. I taught at United High School for 40-some years, and I'm still teaching. I'm a substitute. But since I've had this accident, I have to recuperate. I live in La Bota, and I've lived there for 18 years. And when I started substituting, I went to Muller. I could walk up to Muller, but I drive. So anyway, at Muller, I became very close with the faculty, and I was very surprised to see the back of the school. You see warehouses. And in the back, if you're a parent, you can drive in that little loop, and you get to see this every day. There's 2 playgrounds, one for the lower grade on one side and for the upper grades on the right side. And when I substitute, I'm out there with them during recess. What do I get to see? Warehouses. I even saw, what do you call it, a porta potty? There's, I don't know if it's still there. I'm gonna have to check it out one of these days. It was a blue one. What a sight for these children to see while they're playing out there. Now, over here to the right, when you're facing the back of the school, behind the school, there's an open space there, and you do see some pipelines. I don't know exactly, but everything's just too close to this playground area at Muller. I've subbed for Faskin, Kazin, Findlay, and when you're out there in the playground, you see none of this. You see your neighborhoods. You see over at Findlay, the neighborhoods around the school. Over at Faskin, you see the neighborhoods. And over, let's see, at Kazin, it's a more restricted area there, but it's still, you see neighborhoods. You don't see warehouses. So what I want people to make aware, and I've told people, check it out. Look at what these children see day in, day out. And it's not a pleasing sight. There have been several occasions when I was there, when all of a sudden, I remember one particular incident when a teacher came into my room and goes, Miss Bettis, open the windows, leave the doors open, because I smell something. Do you smell it? Well, I didn't, but I did what she told me. She's a teacher. She's gone through this before. And I've questioned other people, and there's been emission of some of these fumes of whatever is in the environment. And some of these people that I've talked to have been there for years. And I recently talked to someone also, and I was also informed, yes, it also happens at this school. And I really, truly think that this is an issue that should not be recommended to be changed from M1 to M2, from light to heavy. We already have problems. In front of the school is the only open space that's still left to be used for warehouses. That's what we're afraid may happen. So to the right, you're facing the school. To the right, that area still belongs to the Mullers, and there's a restaurant, which serves very good food, by the way. But behind, warehouses to the back. To the left, next to the teacher's parking lot, is that open space where some gentleman from out of town bought this area, and we had issues with it. We were trying to have it changed, and I don't know what the latest is in that situation, but there's nothing there yet. They were gonna park trailers or whatever. But like I said, I don't know what happened there. But overall, I'm not in favor of this. These children need to have a much better scenery, but it can't be done. So whatever we have right now, they're just gonna have to accept that, but we don't wanna see any more warehouses, any more of these hazardous materials. So I'm against
Thank you, Ms.
the
Perez.
recommendation.
Thank you for comments.
Welcome.
Now we're gonna recognize Mr. Rodriguez. For the record, Mr. Rodriguez, your name?
Jose Rodriguez, good evening again. I'm against this, not because the business, I know everybody have to earn some money. My issue is the safety. I used to work as a firefighter, and my daughters went to the school. The traffic there on Mines Road is bad. Some accidents, some leak. By the time the fire department actually go there, I was stuck in traffic for about an hour and a half the other day. And I know they have the fire academy down the road. They have another station right on Faskin. But if you've been on Mines Road from noon to 8 at night, there's no way the fire department is gonna be there on time. I know she mentioned the railroad commission. There has no unit. The closest one is in San Antonio. So there's no way a quick response for those kids at 4 o'clock in the afternoon a leak that is not 100% safe, that is not gonna happen. There's no response there. I work for Border Patrol. We can cut through everything if we need to be there. I'm actually an EMT with them, and I can bet you that we will make it. And that's my issue. I still got friends that the kids go to the school, and again, the school actually got a gate on the back that actually go through that road. A leak there, the kids won't go there. Traffic stuck on the front, those kids and people in the water, they actually stuck with that gas. That's my issue.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Anybody else against? Go ahead. For your record? your name?
Adrian Ovalle, I guess one of the issues that I had, is there anything else I needed to say? No, just my, okay. I know that we keep considering the hazard with the toxic fumes, or not toxic, but propane just generally not being something you want in your respiratory system, as well as the explosion. Something that's not brought up too much is that the explosions can actually create projectiles. These projectiles can travel 2,000, 2,500 feet. Anywhere you look it up, you can see that, you know, propane tanks, they're under pressure. And obviously you need the right air to fuel mixture, about 60% to create an explosion and an ignition source. But, sorry, I'm a little, but easily these projectiles can reach the school. We keep thinking the fire thing, that's not the problem here. The problem is those projectiles can fly in any direction. They can hit another warehouse, they can go hit the school in the playground, they can go hit traffic in the street. There's already a heavy industrial area. I'm not sure if adding the added risk of projectiles like that, especially much closer to the school than before, or even marginally closer to the school than before, is a good idea. I know that the issue was brought up that there was an energy transfer unit close to the school already. These aren't refill stations. These don't operate the same way as a propane station. Yes, they are fuel, but that does not make them the same. There is no exchange of fuel in the open air or in a non-permanent setting going on there. It is one tank, and by railroad commission, it's supposed to be at 80%. That means it only has about 20% more to reach that that prime 60% that you need air to fuel mixture to cause an ignition. So I know it's for safety reasons, but you can't guarantee 100% safety. You really can't. And if there's even a small percent chance of, you know, an explosion can happen, it can happen. I've worked in the oil field, and we take all the measures we can, and we're as safe as possible. But ignition's always around. Whenever fuel's around, ignition's around, and so much moving hands, it's always a danger. There is one large tank that's going to be providing the refill, the exchange. But by nature, there's going to be many propane tanks coming through this property because it is a refill station. So it's not just one propane tank dealing there. It's many tanks throughout the day, many transactions going on. All are points of opportunity for danger and mistakes to happen. So yes, that's why I am against this. Thank you so much.
Anybody else that will talk against? Nobody else against? Okay. Members of the committee have any question for any of the members?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I just want to orient myself. I was hoping to get an aerial of the property, please, on the map.
Can we get an aerial of the property?
All right, so I guess the blue line around that lot is the property. And then right south of that is the school. Now, there is a traffic loop, which someone was mentioning, that, I mean, it butts it right there. I mean, they share lot lines pretty much, the campus and this property. My only concern is that the issue isn't the current property owners, it's the other uses or potentially the sale of this property and the M2 staying there, right? And some of the things that I could see that are allowed in M2s are hazardous chemical manufacturers, petroleum refinery, rubber product manufacturing, plastic product manufacturing, research lab, hazardous research labs. You know, that's not something we're comfortable, and I believe the school district, UISD, is not comfortable with this either. So that's just something I'd like to share with the commission.
All right. Anybody else wants to make a comment?
No, I wanted to see the aerial. And
Can we get an aerial from the actual
This one is-
on, by the satellite, Earth?
Google?
Yeah,
Earth?
sorry. That's what you want, Daniela? That's what you want to see?
No, she was happy with it.
I just wanted.
She's
I was
fine
gonna
with
say
that. She's fine with that.
I'm fine with it. What it-
Okay.
es lo mismo.
Anybody else have a question, any comments? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and close
Yes.
the
I
public
just
hearing.
have one. So, is there, for what they're proposing, is there any other alternative?
Special use permit.
Well, what happens is they, because of the type of business, they would need the zone, but then they would need to come in for a special use permit for this actual, type of business.
So, I guess what I mean, like, without doing the zone change, there's no other,
No, for the type of business that it is.
Well,
I'm gonna make a, I'm sorry, go ahead.
go ahead.
I'm gonna make a comment, and this is for both sides. The owner of the proposed business showed us all type of licenses, and they have been accredited, and I think they are in compliance with all the requirements for the business that they have. I also think that the members of the community have an issue about it, and I respect both sides. And at this time, I'm gonna go ahead and close, I already closed the public hearing, and I'm gonna go ahead and entertain a motion to approve or to deny the request.
I'll make a
But-
motion.
Let me just make a real good suggestion. At this particular time, the owner can actually table the item and get together with planning and zoning staff to try to get a special use permit for that particular item. Once we deny it, but if they want to table it, we can still come back in a couple of weeks to look at it. Go ahead and tell me what you
So,
want to tell me.
A special use permit doesn't work the same way as a conditional use permit. Okay, they'll need the zone, and then after that, for the type of use that they want to do in Laredo, Texas, they would need a special permit to do that use. This is not a overlay situation. It's a
What I
conditional.
was trying to do is trying to see if there were alternatives that she can actually look at before we make a vote. But if the owner, it's okay for us to continue with that, then I'll go ahead and put it for vote.
Well,
You were gonna say something, Annabelle?
I wanna ask,
Close.
so first you have, I'm sorry.
Come to the podium. Your name again?
Annabelle Ramirez. So what you're saying, Mr. Navarro, is that first we have to get the M2, then we can apply for a special use. So if we're denied the M2, that's it. What about a conditional use permit? That way, if they sell, they can't transfer that permit to anybody else. I mean, because it is an industrial. I understand there's a school there, and I'm concerned for children. I come from a long line of educators, so I do understand. And I'm fully aware of your concerns. But this is an industrial park.
What I'm trying to do, Ms. Ramirez, is that if we vote, we vote.
Yes.
Okay, so you have the option to table the item and come back at a later date, that we can make it in 2 weeks.
Like,
Once you have exhausted the options,
then it's a no.
Okay,
so it's up to you.
okay.
If the owner wants to table it, you're welcome to table it. If not, I will proceed.
We'll go ahead and table it.
Okay.
Well,
Motion to table, do I hear a
Well,
motion to table?
before we do that, I just
Yeah.
want to say, this is just a recommendation that we make, right? Ultimately, the city council has the say so whether they're gonna approve or not,
At the end of the day, they have.
right? So I wanna, sometimes folks don't recognize that, right? But, and in the end, we're just making a recommendation, and then council will have the final say so, okay?
I just wanted,
On our
Commissioner,
decision.
I just wanted to make sure that, that we're providing everybody a fair option to do that.
I just wanna clarify
Mr.
one
Chair.
thing. As it stands right now, is there anything that has been identified that does not meet the requirements?
No.
Okay.
So,
In their current business?
so,
What they wanna do, is there anything that they're not in compliance with?
Just the zone,
The
just the zone
zoning.
change.
It's an
But-
M1, so it doesn't comply with an M1.
yeah, let me.
The business they
yes,
want.
that is
The business they
the
want,
obvious one.
it doesn't apply.
But
No,
Mr.
no, I'm
Chairman,
saying like to request a zone, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is that, earlier it was mentioned, if it gets changed to an M2, then it opens the door to
To other,
other
to other
things.
things,
Yes.
exactly.
But then, if they need the M2 to do what they wanna do, right?
that's correct.
But they still have to apply for a conditional use?
It stays
How-
on
how-
Special use. They need the zone change.
They need the zone change, then apply for an SUP, a permit.
Right,
So,
and how is that specific to just what they're doing? And why do the other ones that it opens up, why do they not need to also do a conditional use, or they do as well?
They do as
Think
well.
of the gas.
Orlando, I think we're confused here. What I understand is that if we leave it at an M1, then they need to come and ask for a special use permit.
Sir,
If
No.
it's an M2, then they will comply.
No.
what are you asking me?
I'm asking if we give them an M2, she will still not be able to have the business there.
Yes, special use permit.
I don't believe you need an SUP.
But this is, okay, so in this situation, you know,
No se puede.
the decision that I have to make is also a decision that has to do with safety also. So, you can try taking a square peg and stick it in a round hole and sit and try to figure out how to put this business there. But overall, I feel that the safety of the location,
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable with it. So, and that's why, you know, I'm against this for that reason. So even if they were to come to our office to try to figure something out and everything like that, in principle, I'm not in favor with this business to go next to the school.
They have agreed to table it, and that's already on record. And I feel that we should continue with it on the tabling and give them all the options that they might have on both sides. I understand your point, and I understand the point of the residents. And, but in my position, it's not to stop anybody from getting all the options, Mr. Navarro. We need to give them the option. If they come back in 2 weeks and we deny it, we deny it. We approve it, we approve it. But at this particular time, I feel that on both sides, both need a little bit more time to look at the real options.
Mr. Chairman, the only concern
Yeah.
is that we're gonna lead the applicant to think that there's
Yes.
something to work with, when at the current, there's possibly
There's
some
a-
folks on this commission that may feel, even if they come back next time with something else, they're still not gonna be in agreement.
Okay, well, they
With
decided
that
to
use.
table it.
Mr. Chairman, I work with the Railroad Commission on a daily basis, and I'm sure that they comply with all their permits. I also run a gas system citywide, and I would never in my wildest dreams ever try to put what is called a city gate next or in close proximity to a school, because no matter what we do, the safety element that is there cannot be 100%.
I understand, but since they came back and they decided to table it, we need to put it, we just need to put it for vote, and it can die.
Okay.
And then we'll make another.
I'll do that.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put it for vote. I need to make a motion, somebody can get a motion to table the item.
No. I would like to make a motion.
So the motion to table the item dies.
Deny.
Because nobody goes. Now, I would like one of the members to make a motion to approve or deny the item.
I want to make a motion to deny because it's not only the business that she wants to put, but what it opens. All the others that Mr. Barron stated are the ones that are more concerning.
Not a problem. Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. All right. We're gonna continue amending the zone ordinance map of the city of Laredo, Arizona, approximately 61.11 acres situated in portion 17, Astrict 52, Jose Cristobal Garcia. Original grantee, and portion 18, Astrict 21, Jose de Bustamante, original grantee. Out of shares 2 and 3, subscribed portion data La Bota Ranch recorded on volume 492, pages 732, 761. Of the Webb County deed records, and later out of track 4 of partition deed recorded in volume 647, pages 36 to 57 of the Webb County deed records, located south of La Bota Parkway and southwest of Calvert Cove Court, from AG Agricultural District to R1 Single Family Residential District to R1A Single Family Area District. We're gonna present that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have the applicant Kaledi Group, owner, Victor Linares, applicant representative. Location approximately 61.11 acres, located south of La Bota Parkway and southwest of Calvert Cove Court. Zone request AG and R1 to an R1A. Proposed use residential, single family residential area. Letter sent 43. None for, none for against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zoning map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And the proposed motion.
Can you go back
Can you go back to the map?
to the map?
How are they gonna exit the property?
Yeah.
Go ahead and open the public meeting, Commissioner. This is a public meeting. Anybody in favor of the zone change? For the record, your name.
Yes, good evening, P&Z Commission. My name is Victor Linares with Arriba SCC. I'm the engineer of record representing this development. We're here in favor of the zone change. I do want to point out some items that I've, even from the beginning of the development, that we've been, brought forward some concerns. I know one of the concerns has to do with accessibility or congestion when it comes to Mines Road. Right now, our master plan is still preliminary. We're just asking for the zone change. But on the master plan, what we are promoting is the extension of the 90-foot right-of-way, pretty much from the north, overall on the subdivision to the south. And pretty much I'm glad that aerial's up. Pretty much I don't know if I can get the aerial back. That one. If you follow La Bota Parkway, there's a sendero that if you follow it through, it goes then ties into Aquero. Aquero has a master plan already in place, and we're tying in pretty much into that Aquero. Aquero in the long term, what it's gonna do is it ties into Riverbank, and then it would serve as a second exit. And so that's one of the components that we're trying to promote with the master plan. We do have meetings with staff, just in case. I know there's some other concerns that will be presented, but just if we could be allowed to present that at the master plan stage. Second, we are also promoting some green space on the area. We are coordinating with the HOA. This subdivision is planned to be incorporated with La Bota itself. And so the green space areas, we're trying to coordinate and see what facilities or what amenities we could try to provide for the area. That's item number 2. I know the last concern that I've heard is really when it comes to the size of the residents. The thing I do want to point out, it is an R1A, but the R1A, what it does is reduce the lot dimensions. It does not really reduce too much on the footprint. When it comes to the footprints, pretty much the development has done homes at 1,600 square feet on a single story. They've done over 2,800 on 2-story buildings. And so that square footage of a home footprint is similar to that of R1. If anything, one of the reasons with this R1A is really affordability. Land, material, everything has gone up, and we've been aware that the R1A has been successful, like on San Isidro and on some other locations. And so we're just hoping to get your support.
Thank you, Victor. Anybody else wants to talk about it? In favor of the zone change? Favor? Against the zone change? For the record, your name?
For the record, my name is Guillermo Castro Jr.
If you can step over into the semicircle,
Yeah.
that'll help. There.
For the record, my name is Guillermo Castro Jr. To recall, you've been here before, and you know the plight of the struggles that we're going through. I think everybody knows what's going through La Bota. When you say it's an HOA, it's not an HOA. It's a developer that has gone rogue. We have taken it to the state court to try to fight it, and we're still fighting. March, we're supposed to go to trial. It has a very good bearing on this one. We're trying to fight is to protect our property, our home. Right now, we don't have that. What you're doing by allowing these people to come in there, you're endangering our lives because there's only one entrance at this moment. I can promise you tomorrow, I'm gonna make this go on another entrance. They haven't done it. I think they should be tabled until March when we have our day in court. I'm not against people to come and develop, but let's do it the right way. You know, we just honored an American hero who sacrificed his life to protect our home. We're doing the same thing. You know, with this pandemic, home was a sanctuary. Today in La Bota, you know, we fight every day, but when we come home, we look at the problems we have, and they're so overwhelming because I can't go to my home and say, this is mine. Why? Because under their plan, I don't own my land because they can take your home, and we don't have homeowners on the board. So it's not an HOA, and insults me when they say it's an HOA. It's not, and the truth will come. But let us do something. When you're gonna allow these people to make a change, let's have the plans out there. Let's look at what they're planning to do. Where's the entrance? You got one entrance. We have a fire or an emergency. There's only one place to come in and go out. Let's do the right thing. When they do a proposed plan and we do more studies, then we can sit. The old Marines would say proper planning always prevents piss poor performance. And I think this is what we need to do. Study it, and then bring it back. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Castro. Anybody else against? Go ahead, Mr. White. Your name for the record?
Hi, my name is Adrian Ovalle. Just 3 things I wanted to bring up real quick. So the first issue that was brought up was the congestion issue. And the solution that was presented for that would be that the master plan community ghetto, that Riverbank would be one of the outlets that would be added. If you look right now at Riverbank, it is absolutely not a viable option. There's already backup from the travel centers of America where semis cut into each other and it backs up that traffic bad. All we're gonna end up doing at that point is creating congestion on Killam on that side, Riverbank on this side, and Mines Road heading north to south. So again, that Riverbank right now, if that's the viable solution, we're gonna open up Riverbank. That's absolutely not. And at least at this point, from what I've seen as a resident living there, sometimes, even doing Uber and Lyft, yeah, it's pretty bad around that area. As it is right now, some of those problems are being augmented because Uber and Lyft drivers, just the initial probing, they won't touch that area because the congestion is that bad. Riverbank is one of the shortcuts we actually take to get around the Mines Road traffic, and if you take that out, it's just gonna get worse. It's not gonna get any better. We're just gonna congest the only little shortcut known to the locals, I guess is what you could call it. The second issue was kind of already, I don't wanna beat the horse over there, I don't know. The second issue was brought up about the HOA, coordinating with the HOA. At this point, the HOA's lifetime is in the air. We don't really know. It could not happen. That's not the problem. The problem is that, well, that is the problem, but that we don't know if that's viable either, because we don't know if they're going to be around at that point. We don't know if they're going to be agents of action going forward with this plan. The third issue is that was brought up was about the footprint. While the smaller lots may optimize the footprint problem, it's also going to optimize the first problem, which is congestion, because you're going to be able to throw more lots into each development, which means more people, more families, more traffic, more school traffic, work traffic, emergency traffic. It just adds to all these problems. Right now, if you're driving along that area, an ambulance or a firefighter is driving down that road, people cannot get out of the way. It's not that they won't. It's just it's so packed. There's no way of getting in. Adding more people and construction traffic along with that is not going to help the issue. It's just going to make it much worse. I think, and in my opinion right now, with the HOA being too uncertain and no real plan or nothing in place yet to deal with that congestion, it's something I'm definitely against, just because it's going to be a huge headache, and especially for the industrial sector of Laredo. We are a forwarding, we are a commerce, across the bridge commerce. You add more traffic, that slows it down, less efficient, less money as well. It hurts all around. It hurts the residents, it hurts the businesses, just to maximize one development's pockets. So that's why I'm against this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bayo. Anybody else that wants to talk against it? Mr. Rodriguez, I'll recognize Mr. Rodriguez first.
Hello again. Mr. Rodriguez, I don't live in La Bota. I got friends that live there. I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago, our ex-councilman, it was a proposal to actually build a road, another road from, I guess it was from the water plant, connect to Acuero, going to Riverbanks, for the residents to actually go around instead of being stuck on Mines Road. And the owners for La Bota was the only one that opposed that plan. And so going back to what I think, but what he was saying, La Bota, Deer Creek, and Green Ranch, 3 neighborhoods that only got one entry and one exit. And they keep building warehouses, more trucks, more traffic, and people, the safety of the people actually is not there. So when I moved there, it was just a couple of warehouses. Now you can go past tiendas, and it's a whole industrial complex. So when is going to be the point that the citizens are going to be first and get more exit to those neighborhoods out, instead of just keep accessing more trucks and stuff that people actually were stuck there? I've been involved in mass casualty incidents, explosion, gas leaks. I was one of the opposed when they were doing fracking on that area. Because a gas leak, something on one of those neighborhoods, everybody's going to be affected. It's not only La Bota or Deer Creek or Green Ranch. And again, most people don't know because they don't live in that area. But the traffic is getting worse and worse every day. And having more people living there, yeah, we need the housing, but having more people is going to increase the issues. And I think people need to be first. And before we still approving stuff, the whole traffic issue needs to be fixed. Because if not, nothing's going to work.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Anybody else who wants to talk? Go ahead, ma'am. Your name for the record?
For the record, my name is Joanne Pyland Otero, and I really don't have much more to add. I think their points were kind of what I would like to say, but I think because of pending litigation, and it is a big thing, the pending litigation might want you to think about tabling this item. I like what the gentleman said, Mr. Adrian there, about we really don't know who will be the homeowners, who will be in control. Right now they are, but we don't know how the judge will rule come court. So let's say you proceed with this. All of a sudden, we will have a development adjacent to us. And by the way, I'd like to point out that I've lived next to that La Bota Ranch Road, or La Bota Parkway rather, for 22 years. So now I'm going to ask myself, am I going to want to go out the same way? A question for the developer is that going to be a gated entrance exit? Are you, was it you, sir? Can you answer that?
That's the plan,
The plan is what?
to have a gated entrance on the.
So additional costs for gate guards is what
You
you're
need
saying,
to,
right?
ma'am, you need to refer to
address
us.
it.
Okay, I asked if there is going to be a gate. We currently have a 24-hour man gate. That is a pretty, it's a sizable expense, but people choose to live there probably because of the man gate and so forth. So my question was, will the other one be a 24-hour manned gate?
Usually the process, right now, is before us for a zone change.
For a zone
After
change.
that, the engineer will come back with certain, either the infrastructure plan or the
Master
yes, the master plan.
Master plan.
And, so this is the first step.
Right.
When they come back with all the requests from planning and zoning staff, you're gonna be able to see if there's an entrance or there's an entrance, if there's an outlet, how many lots, which are the streets, etc. But right now, the only thing that they're asking is for the zone change. But yes, you're correct. Eventually, if we grant the zone change, they have to come back and provide all the information to comply with all the rules of the development. See? So the engineer, it's only here to ask for a zone change. And, but being a public hearing, if you're against it, you got all the right to talk about it.
Well,
Go ahead, continue.
Okay, thank you for pointing that
Thank
out.
you.
I appreciate it. I guess my concern is also, and I know it's about the zone change, thank you, but I also feel if this is approved and then the plan is to proceed with an additional development, that's going to allow 2 entrances, exits, but it's also going to give them an opportunity to go through our entrance and exit, which is by Muller Elementary again, and where the 7 to 10 buses come regularly in traffic. So again, I'm looking at the school element, I'm looking at the safety element, and so I just would like to go on record as saying I do not support the zone
Thank you.
change. Thank you.
Anybody else that wants to talk in favor or against? Go ahead.
You guys want me to 3? On the instructions, it's just 3 for each party.
Go ahead. Good record, name?
My name is Raul Garza. I'm a lifetime Floridian. I'm a practicing CPA and business owner of the community. I'm just here and want to voice and echo what some of my neighbors here have mentioned on this matter and the previous one. I want to commend the comments that were made by Ms. Paz, Mr. Lovalina, and Mr. Barron on the previous matter. I wanted to share, I'm not going to rehash some of the things that were mentioned, but I wanted to share a couple of things with you so that you can take into consideration. Once you approve something and once you give them the okay, as part of the master plan, it's very difficult to change or enforce. I participated in the road trip we took to try to change the legislation on the way that homeowners associations are conducted in the state of Texas. Even though it was very heartfelt, the stories that these people heard, at the end of the day, they said, look, there's not much we can do. What we suggest is you go back to the city and try to address this, and as last resort, take it to the legal system, right? The association is run by the developers. You know, you look at the bylaws say that they're gonna be in control 50 years after the last descendant of your family members. That was something that was brought up in the meeting, which is very sad for us, right? Now, for some of us that can get out of there, it's still a very big investment to uproot your family. I moved there in 1990 with my family because back then, I mean, I was 12 years old, do the math. That's what my family could afford at that particular point. It was basically residential and ranch land, right? You've heard the saying, I have this good attorney friend of mine, immigration. When it comes up to the issue of these issues that we're seeing in the immigration area, you've heard the saying, we didn't cross the border crossed us. That's basically what applies to what I've seen. There was a very small community there. The residential didn't cross the industrial. The industrial crossed the residential. And I just wanted to share this with you because, like I said, once you pass it, when we go to the association, they basically don't give us a right. We can give an opinion, but that's it. For them, adding more homes is more revenues. Unfortunately, this family, because of decisions and issues within the family members, they have depended on the revenues that they generate from the owners. The people who can't pay those fees, they don't pay them, they get a lien placed on their property. Those of us who can't pay it, we pay it because we don't want that to happen, even though we're not comfortable with the arrangement. As far as the issue of a second outlet, we brought it up when we went up to Austin. We brought it up, but even our previous council member. And I think I caught him at the tail end of his tenure. I mean, he must have been frustrated when he said, look, I'm gonna quote the words he said, Chulito, I am very sorry. He meant it in a sarcastic way, not trying to say anything else. You guys bought there. Nobody forced you to buy there. You put yourselves in that predicament. It is sad to hear that in the United States when you voted for those people to represent you, and when you're going to them for assistance, that's what you hear. And basically, the state tossed it back to the city tossed it to the legal system, and this is where we're at. I wanted to share this with you because you're in a position of control right now. I'm for adding more residents. I think that's gonna help the community there. Unfortunately, if you make it part of the master plan, then you're giving them a lot of control because they could take forever. I might not even see it in my lifetime or the lifetime of my kids because it's whenever they wanna do it. And they bring up issues, well, it's because we went into bankruptcy. Well, it's because we've been having these issues. And all along, nothing is done. And if you're gonna consider doing that, then make some very, very strict stipulations that before you approve it, you actually negotiate for them to have all of these things that they need to be addressed. And not what we heard. Well, you know what you ought to do if I was in your situation from the ex-council member, telling myself and some of the people here, just get in your truck, ram it. Nobody's gonna get in the way of protecting my family. You know, that's not a solution, right? That's not a solution to the problem we have. So please take that into consideration. Some of us, some of the communities, members, they're not here for many reasons. It's very difficult. I just found out about this. We have so many issues to deal with, and I know it's hard. The air issue that was discussed a couple of weeks ago, we had the issue with the propane, we have this issue. I know it's a lot, but please take these things into consideration as you're representing us. And it's very, very difficult when you're put in this situation from the people that we elected, and then they turn their backs on us with the comments that were told to us. That's basically what I wanted to say.
Thank you. I think it is obvious that the feelings in about the residents of La Bota are pretty much against it. And I want to close the public hearing. I think that we are pretty much in agreement that the comments is, that we hear is that they're against them. So any more that we hear, it's going to be useless because I know that they're against it. So I'm going to close the public hearing and ask if any of the commissioners have any questions
do.
for any of the items. Go ahead, Mr. Commissioner.
Would you stand up again?
Yes.
La Bota Parkway, is it still a private road?
Yes, sir.
Is Muller Memorial still a private road?
That's correct, yes.
How do you propose to improve it? Do you have permission from the owners? I assume you represent somebody other than the owners of the rest of the tract of land. You represent somebody else who is buying land. Do they have a binding agreement from the Mullers that allow them to make improvements to both of those roads?
I don't.
Since they're private and they don't belong to you, and you're asking for permission to use those roads?
Yes, pretty much
Is it in the agreement?
I couldn't answer to that. I'll be really honest. If there's any special agreements when it comes for the
sale of the land.
Yes, I don't have pretty much information of that. The only thing I know is that pretty much our plat we need to do attached to La Boca Parkway to really allow that pretty much that egress to that section.
Is the staff aware of whether that agreement includes a right of use for any of the roadways since they're both private, and whether it allows for you to make capital improvements as part of the plat in the process to make those improvements to take care of the additional traffic that is going to go onto those private roads?
The only information was shared with us that this property will be part of the homeowners association.
It doesn't say anything.
It doesn't say anything.
So
I would think that if you're gonna accept a private plat and you're gonna add, I don't know how many residents, depending on the tract of land that you would wanna have as a owner of the property that you're buying, the right to use the private roads that belong to somebody else. Otherwise, how could you even make improvements? And how could you even allow people to use the roads?
Thank you. Yeah, I have a question.
Did I not answer that question? Did I not answer that
Just
question?
for clarification purposes, the current owner is not the same developer as the developer of La Bota?
That's correct.
That's correct, right? All right. So totally different developers.
That's correct.
Okay. Is this part of a master plan for staff? Was this part of a master plan, this area? Is this master planned already?
No.
As part of the, no, there's nothing master planned here.
they're just coming in for a zone change.
Okay, so this was never part of La Bota's master plan? Okay. All right, so, currently it seems like there's some areas within this property that are already zoned R1. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right, so right now, if they were to work out the access areas, they'd have the zoning to do at least some areas of R1.
Right, if you can go to the next slide, that slide right there, if you notice the green, how it's squared off, right above it, it's yellow with some lines through it.
Right, that pocket there is already R1.
Yes, it's R1. They could
Right.
build tomorrow if they
The
want.
R1 homes can already be built if they have, once the plating process happens. Because right now,
Of course.
all we're discussing is zoning,
That's right.
which we only make a recommendation back to that, which council has the final say so. Okay, so there's currently R1 now in the area. Would you know, as far as the gap of an R1 potential buyer and an R1A, like, as far as like, how much you lose as far as someone to have the opportunity to purchase a home? Like, would you happen to know that?
Well, the
Like-
difference of the lot size, it's when it
No,
comes.
not necessarily the lot size. I'm talking about the potential clients that, because you're going for the R1A, and you may be able to have potential buyers that are able to purchase an R1A lot, right? Rather than an R1, because of this, or the size isn't that much different.
Pretty much the size reduction is from 6,000 to 4,500.
Okay.
But one of that small adjustment pretty much allows some increase on density. And so pretty much, generally speaking, any development, the larger density on an area, the less cost, I should say, should be on each lot.
Right. Which will save the current potential buyer.
That's correct. That's one of the
To be
reasons
able to
why
have an
we're trying
opportunity to
get the
purchase a
R1,
new home.
Following
R1A
that,
for that reason.
Now, the other question is, has this developer done any other developments, R1As, in other areas of the city?
No, they haven't done a development that's R1A, but I know the builder group, they have built on R1As.
Okay.
But with other developments.
And that could be potentially maybe like San Isidro have R1As as far as in the area?
They have
Do-
some.
And Villas de San Agustin, does that have R1As as well?
yes.
Okay. All right. And then what is the closest R1As in this area, in the map? I don't know if you can put, because right there, it's, would that be like it's like the brown one, right on the top corner? If we're looking at the
Where it
map.
says
No,
R1A.
it says
R1A right
R1A
there.
on the top corner.
Got it, that's R1A right there, then La Bota's R1, right? Just to get my bearings straight, okay. All right.
I would like to add a comment.
Go ahead.
The main issue, and in the previous, meetings that you've been here to, is there's only one entrance and the traffic, right? And the issue that the people have, like in the industrial areas around Mines Road, is because there've always been only one entrance, you know? So because of all the traffic, and right now, like Mr. Loalina said, it's a private road, I really recommend that you have something in writing, right, Mr. Loalina? That you are going to be able to access that road, number one, and number two, we need an extra, way in and way out. You did mention the riverbank, right?
That's correct.
We have to be aware of riverbank. There's also a lot of the Bota trail, bike rides or bike trails that are there also. There's a lot of existing things that weren't planned before, and that's the issue that they mainly have. So I would like for you, to take that and consider it. And I was gonna recommend R1, but then when you explained at the beginning, I understood what you needed to do, that you already told, Mr. Barron, So and I know also the issues that they have with the HOA, right? And they say it's gonna end until March. I don't know if you would like to table it, or I don't know. If that, you would consider that.
Mr. Chairman, how many lots are proposed to be in the area that, is it already platted as R1?
Oh, so they're just coming in for a zone change.
Oh, there's.
So it's not platted, but you're saying that it's already zoned R1?
Oh, I'm sorry, to answer your question, there's a partial piece that's R1. That's part of what was La Bota
That's
area.
So
So
is
they have some.
It's already platted?
Some.
Yes, sir.
How many
Not
lots?
platted, it's R1.
How
No, it's
many
not platted, it's just
There's
R1.
zone, it's zone.
It's just zoned.
Let me,
So potentially, how many lots do you think that you could carve out in the area that's already zoned? Or you're not interested in doing R1?
Pretty much the area that's already zoned for R1, it's what I recall, it's a really small segment. I think only just a couple, literally,
you okay?
What happened?
The seat closed on him.
I beg your pardon.
sorry, What I understand is that the R1 it's a small segment. It's really gonna be serving just a couple of houses. I think it falls either on Calvert Cove or on Longspur. And so there's a piece to the west side, but it's not on a large segment. And so it's really gonna be a handful of lots.
Okay.
Sí, sí, pero
Let me go ahead and make a comment, real quick comment. The reason of this item is for a zone change, and the zone change has got nothing to do with how it's going to be accessed or not. The zone change is just a designation of an area. Whatever access to that property is required, then it has to come to the master plan, and it has to come for the planning issues and so on. So what is before us right now is a zone change. So we have to decide how we're gonna name that particular section other than AG and R1. So what I'm gonna do, I already closed the public meeting, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and ask for a vote. And we either can approve the zone change, because that's what is before us, or we can deny it. See? Regardless who owns the streets or how we're gonna access to that property, it doesn't really matter. See, what matters is how we're gonna go ahead and name that property. What zone are we gonna put there? Whether it's an R1 or 1A, it doesn't matter. We might give it an R1A, and they might never develop it because of the cost of the La Bota or some legal issues or no entrance or what have you. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and ask the board for a vote. Do I have a motion to deny or to approve the zone change?
I move to approve the zone change to R1A.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion to approve and a second. All in favor to approve the zone change?
Aye.
Aye.
2, 3. Against?
Aye.
I'm gonna go ahead and vote in favor. So the zone change goes through. Okay? Now we're going to the next issue. The next item. Amending the zone ordinance map of the city of Laredo by rezoning approximately 11.65 acres situated in portion 33 San Dionisio Trevino, original grantee. Abstract 3084 and portion 34, Jose Antonio Diaz, original grantee, abstract 762 City of Laredo, Webb County, Texas. Being 11.65 acres out of 18.61 acre tract owned by JMLG Holdings Limited, as recorded in volume 4448, pages 721 to 729, official public record of Webb County, Texas. Located west of Isla Mujeres Drive and east of Cuatro Vientos Road, from AG Agricultural District to R1A Single Family Reduced Area District. Okay, who's gonna present?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have the applicant of JMLG Holdings Limited owner, Howland Engineering Representative application. Location, approximately 11.65 acres, located west of Isla Mujeres Drive and east of Cuatro Vientos Road. Zone request AG to R1A. Proposed use residential. Letter sent 7, none for, none against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zoning map. And the recommendation is staff supports.
Okay, this is a public hearing.
And the proposed motion.
This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor?
Good evening, Commissioners. Miguel Jimenez with Howland Engineering. Of course, we're in favor, but just here to answer any questions you may have. The subdivision is partially already R1A. We're just, proposing to rezone the second half to be able to move forward with the subdivision.
Thank you. Anybody else in favor? Anybody else against? Okay. Anybody has a question? Anybody has a question? No? Then I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to approve or deny.
Motion to go with staff recommendation?
Second, we'll have a, 2 seconds?
I'll second
The
it.
second, that, okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Next item, amending the zoning ordinance map of the city of Rio Grande zoning lots 2, 3, and 4, and 5, block 1, Springfield Cross subdivision unit 1 located at 8422, 8424, 8426, and 8428 Springfield Avenue from B1 limited commercial district to B4 commercial district. Who's going to do the presentation?
It's a B3.
B1 to B3.
B1 to B3.
It says B3 from a B1 to a B3.
B1 to B3.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. B1 to B3.
Yeah, to B3.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have an applicant, Serosin Enterprises, LLC owner, Juan Salinas representative, locations, lots 2, 3, 4, and 5, block 1, Springfield Crossing subdivision, unit 1, located at 8422, 8424, 8426, and 8428 Springfield Avenue. Zone request B1 to B3. Proposed use, basketball gym. Note, zone change was prompted due to signage for basketball gym. Letter sent 11, none for, none against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zoning map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And the proposed motion.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Anybody in favor for the zone change? Mr. Salinas? For the record?
Good evening, Chairman Dominguez and Commissioners. My name is Juan Salinas, and I'm here to support the zone change and to answer any questions you might have.
Anybody have a question for Mr. Salinas?
So basically what happened here is, the building was built, they purchased a sign that didn't meet the size requirement, and we don't have, through the building department, we don't have a mechanism to allow it, because it's too big. So, the only way to do it was to come in, so for
You
it
wanna
to
comply?
zone change, to comply. So that's the reason why they're coming.
Okay. Anybody have a question for Mr. Salinas?
When do you open? No, I'm really glad, and Mr. Salinas, please let the property owners know. I'm excited about this. I drive by this gym. I have kids who play basketball. And for some of you guys who may have kids in training, and I know I'm going off subject, there's some dark warehouses with like pretty tough parking, and sometimes it feels unsafe, but we're still there, right? But this place is gonna be awesome,
Let
so
me
I'm
continue,
very excited about
Commissioner,
it.
with the public hearing. Thank you, Mr. Salinas. Anybody else in favor?
Okay.
Now against? You're in favor?
Yeah, let's have questions.
Come on.
Yeah, sure.
We have questions.
Come to the podium. Go ahead and come up.
For the record, your name?
Elizabeth Gonzalez Hernandez, and I'm not really voting for or against. It's more like in the property, we don't know any information of how that's going to affect the property. If it affects taxes, if it affects entrances, the circulation around there, traffic, how does everything affect? Because we don't know anything about this location. We saw them building, that's true, but we don't know anything else. There's no communication or anything. And even though the other lots are empty, there is houses there. So even though it's just us and someone else, I think we need to know what's going on because it does affect us. And the reason that I'm asking is because my sister has a disability. So I need to know how that's going to affect if something happens, if there's gonna be traffic to get like fast in there. If anything, you know, like mainly because of that concern, like we need to know what's going on because at the end of the day, sometimes we need to make things that it's for her. So we need to know if there's any affecting around it and everything. So
Right.
mainly I just need answers, like more information, that's it.
The building is already existing, and we have a connection of Springfield. Actually, it's a continuation of Springfield, coming from Saunders all the way to International. So to answer your question, well, probably the increase of traffic will be there, but we have to take in consideration that the building is there already. So all they're doing is they're asking for the zone change to comply with the city of Laredo to make it completely compliance. The building is not gonna go anywhere, and being a B3, there's not much they can do other than, they continue with a gymnasium there. So, I think, the price of the property, I'm not an expert, but, I'll tell you, it might not be impacted other than appropriately. I mean, if we have good value for the property is there now that you have those facilities. But, it's only a matter of compliance. What they're doing, they're complying with having the building and for the use of it, okay?
Okay, yeah, and like I said, it's just like we
I won't
didn't know
worry too much.
anything, so.
You already have it there.
From what I understand, it's a gym for training, like they take kids to practice and maybe on weekends, some tournaments and things like that, but that's, from looking at the property,
They
I
don't
think they have a lot of parking
Yeah.
probably excessive parking, really, yeah.
Okay, anybody else has a question for her? No? Okay.
Allow me to just address.
Go ahead,
real
Mr.
quick,
Lopez.
just so that you can know, when we platted these properties there, the one that's vacant, that's still vacant, like next to where the condominiums are, it's right here, wherever y'all's access easement, oh, I'm sorry, I can't see it there, let me come over here. Right in front of the, I don't know if I can do it, right here, where you guys currently access that, wherever your all's
We
access easement.
yeah, that's the road we go in and out. That's
Yes.
the only way in and
Right
out.
to Springfield? When we platted that piece there, we left a dedicated easement as part of the plat. So nobody can ever block it, nobody can ever do anything. Whoever ends up developing on this plat, which will probably be part of a bigger development back here, they have to leave that easement and it'll probably be paved.
Yeah, and I guess it's like, okay, how does that affect? Just.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
But no
Let
one
me-
can ever block anything, you'll always have access there.
Thank you. Let me go ahead and close the public meeting so we continue with it. Anybody has a
Think we have-
question for them? No? Okay, well, let me close the public hearing and, I'll go ahead and,
I move to approve.
Second.
Second.
all in favor, say by signifying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Now, we're gonna go ahead and,
If I can please be excused, I have staff.
go ahead. We don't lose the quorum? No, we should good?
We should be fine.
Go ahead.
All right, thank you, have a
Thank
good
you.
evening.
Okay, next item is the review of the revision of the Lomas de Sul subdivision master plan. The intent is residential and commercial. The purpose of the revision is to reconfigure phase 6 into phase 6 and phase 13, 23? Is that correct?
So, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, we had a request from, traffic to remove, number 1 from the
Can
comments.
you go to the conditions on the screen?
The engineer,
No.
it's on traffic. We need to put traffic there.
Yeah,
So they can.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, for the record, applicant is ALS Laredo Holdings, LLC, engineers Sherfy Engineering. Proposed use is residential and commercial. The zoning for this 912 lot development is B1, B3, R1B, R2, and R1A. So this is a location view. Aerial view. Street view. The proposed revision of the Lomas del Sur master plan. Comments from planning. Traffic and the proposed motion.
Can you go back to traffic?
Yes,
I think
Mr.
Mr. Navarro had a comment.
All right. For the record.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Frank Estrada with Sherfy Engineering. We concur with staff comments as Mr. Navarro revised.
All right. Mr. Navarro?
Yes. So right now they're coming in with a master plan. So the commitment for the median, we don't even know, design layout yet. We don't know.
Correct.
Driveways yet. So we wanted to leave that out until that information came to the table.
You want to leave that comment there from traffic?
To take it out.
You want to take it out?
Yes, take out.
Strike it out.
Strike it, yes. Comment number 1.
I don't have a problem to strike it out, but I would like to make sure that we have the right, striping that will show the direction if needed.
Yes.
Okay? But of course, we'll go ahead and put it for a vote and let the commission decide. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Estrada.
Thank you.
Okay, do I have a motion to?
Motion to approve as amended by striking that comment.
Have a second?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Guys have it. Okay, I would like to get all together, the consideration of filing preliminary plans and preliminary plats, which is, a motion to get them all together, A, B, C, and, as one. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Chairman,
No, no, no.
What?
There was one.
Mr. Chairman, we have one,
One
that
that's
the
been tabled.
applicant asked to table, which is item
Yes, that's the one.
8C.
Okay, which was that one?
That
8C?
C.
See, okay. We'll go ahead and remove that, and do I have a motion to table that item?
I'm sorry, are we approving the finals, or we're going?
We have to table the.
We have to table that section C. Is the preliminary consideration of the plat of Cooperland and subdivision, the density residential, they have
So-
asked to table it? So
So
let's
moved.
go ahead and table that.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Chair, if it would be okay if we went through each item, because we do have some engineers that would like to talk on their item.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that okay?
You still want to table?
8C is still
Yeah, we should
tabled.
table that.
Can we vote on it so we can get the rest?
Yeah. Vote?
Motion to table.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's it. Okay. Which is the item that,
Porras.
We're on 8A.
We need the Village South subdivision.
That's what they're doing right now, but. Yeah, in other words, if you want to talk about 8A, all right.
Mr. Nance?
Do you want me to present?
No, I'm fine. If you guys have moved to approve the preliminary consideration of plat Village South Phase 3, we're completely fine with it. We comply with all, we concur with all the comments.
Okay, I just had a question on this one.
Okay. It's still open.
Mr. Navarro.
So, right?
Yes, if she can read it out loud.
Okay.
This is preliminary consideration of the plat of Village South subdivision phase 3. For the record, applicant is Salinas Village Development Corporation. Engineer is Porras Nance Engineering. Proposed use is residential. The zoning for this 91 lot development is R1H, R1MH. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Proposed plat. Comments from planning. Traffic. And the proposed motion.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, Wayne
Yeah.
Nance with Porras Engineering. We agree with all the comments.
You had a question, Mr.
Yeah,
Ramos?
yes, sir. The only question is for the planning comment number 4,
Yes.
which is coordinate with the city, the completion of an unfinished paving section on Celito Lindo. Yet, when I was looking at the map, I don't see Celito Lindo abutting the property. I see another some commercial phases, but not necessarily, like Celito Lindo's not close to this plat.
So this particular project, well, there's a little bit of history with that street, right? And it hasn't been put in, it sits right in front of the high school, LBJ High School.
Right.
It's been sitting for about 15 years unfinished. In discussions with the developer, they're willing to work with the city to get that paved in another instrument. So what we did is, that we've agreed to that, so that wouldn't impact this development. So we separated it out, so we just put that in there that they're gonna coordinate with us on a separate instrument, so that it doesn't impact this particular project right now.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons that I asked to get them all approved in the same, because, I read that all that had been ironed out with the planning.
Right. The only thing is, I was thinking it would happen when those commercial phases come in that are on Celito Lindo, not necessarily when there's a development going.
No problem.
Back to that, that area, the traffic, it's a major concern.
Right.
And we were needing it now, and thankfully, the developer was generous enough to say that he would work with us.
He's going with that. Now, Okay, now do I have a vote for that?
Aye.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
You had a question?
No, I was, I voted.
That was the second,
Yeah.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so now we have them all, and now the consideration of filing the plats and replats. I'm gonna take, A, B, C, and D. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion to approve?
Se-
All together?
Aye. It's your.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion to adjourn?
For the record.
No, I just.
Give it out.
So I